Hello and welcome to Sports Today's Morning News Wrap. I'm Siddharth Gulati and I'm going to bring you all the latest updates that made the headlines on different newspapers and on various digital platforms. So, as always, as it has been our usual drill, let's just begin with some cricket news. And obviously, it's a big day because it's the World Test Championship final between the reigning champions Australia and South Africa here, who have qualified for the WTC final for the first time in the history of the tournament. It's going to take place at the Mecca of Cricket in Lords, and obviously, it is an all important affair for both the sides here. For Australia, it's going to be the case of defending their title, making it twice in a row, and for South Africa, it's going to be about breaking the 27-year jinx and at the very same time clinching their first senior ICC title. So let's just talk a bit about the weather, as to how it's really going to hold up for the next 5 days or so. Well, there's not much rain predicted on the first, fourth, and the fifth days of the match here, but on the second and third days, there is more than 60% chance of precipitation, which could mean that it could be a start-stop day. But then looking at the quality of both the sides here, they are known to shift gears accordingly. There could be a result possible in the first 5 days or so, even if there is a good amount of rain predicted. So let's see how things really go. And apart from that, there have been several things doing the rounds as to what Pat Cummins said about South Africa. He said that they cannot really take them lightly. And on the other hand, Bavuma, the South Africa captain, he has possibly revealed a weakness of Australia that South Africa could cash in upon in the WTC final, and it is the top order of Australia. So the opening combination has pretty much been juggled upon, ever since the retirement of David Warner. They've had the likes of Steve Smith, who has opened. Now Manas Labuschagne is going to open in the WTC final, but that's just going to be a singular affair. Apart from that, there has been Sam Constas, Nathan McSweeney. So that middle order, so the top order has pretty much been unstable for Australia, and that's where Temba Bavuma feels that it could be an opportunity for South Africa to cash in upon. They would want to make sure that they get those early wickets so as to put pressure on Australia. So that's the latest things that we have for you as far as the weather and Bavuma's comments on Australia's possible weakness are concerned. Moving on, Jacob Bethel, the England star, has high praise for Virat Kohli. Well, Jacob Bethel, he was a part of RCB here before joining the England cricket team for the series against West Indies. Now he's obviously going to be a part of the India Test also. Jacob Bethel said that he has high praise for the work ethic of Virat Kohli, how he goes about his work, how he plans his chase, how he goes about his work ethic template there. So these are all the things that he learned from Virat Kohli when he was at RCB, and it wasn't really the fact that Kohli not just helped him personally, but at the very same time Bethel used to look things from outside as to how Kohli went about his work. So these are the things that he has said about him. He specifically liked as to how Kohli goes about his chase. Moving on, well, England have thrashed West Indies in the third and final T20I. Well, batting first, England scored a massive 248 odd, courtesy consistent contributions by the top order, and in response, West Indies had a tall order in front of them. They lost wickets at regular intervals and they could only manage 211. That means that West Indies could not really win a match on the scores, on the UK shores here. They lost the ODI series, and at the very same time, they also lost the T20 series. Both the series they lost 3-0 each. So that's about it as far as the England versus West Indies update is concerned. We'll obviously, going to be bringing you all the live updates from the WTC final here. There's going to be a proper discussion as and when the day ends. And now let's just see, what the newspapers really have to tell us. The most favorite section of mine here before we take a couple of comments. Obviously, Pooran has retired. We've already discussed about it. Walker, Priyanka, she has bagged the first win of the season. Belgium, they battled past Wales. Italy have won as far as the World Cup qualifying is concerned. Then Hong Kong, they defeated India, and they also made their road to Asian Cup pretty difficult as far as the men in blue are concerned. And shooter Rani Sarnobat, she's back on international stage in the Munich World Cup. And apart from that, yeah, that's pretty much about it as far as the morning update is concerned. Stay tuned to Sports Today as we'll bring you all the latest updates and analysis from the sporting world. Let me just take a couple of quick comments. Sandeep Randhawa, good morning. He has a comment here that match will be in balance. Pat Cummins will change the match. I know you know it, and the whole world knows it. Well, he's known to change many things. He has once silenced. He once silenced the Ahmedabad crowd. You know, I know which state I'm talking about. Freaking awesome. All the toss doesn't play a big role at Lords. South Africa haven't done well at Lords where they fielded first. But will South Africa's top order survive? The first session, initially, there's some juice on the wicket. I think both the teams, irrespective of the wicket, I think they would want to bat first. It's an important final. You would want to put that scoreboard pressure. And even if you get about 300 in the first innings, I think that's going to be pretty enough. So, I think you survive the first session, and South Africa. See, I can understand that they may have played lesser number of test matches than Australia in this WTC cycle, but I think South Africa have enough firepower and even enough balance in their side so as to stop this Australian pace attack. So let's see how things really go. Freaking awesome, another comment, and that is going to be the last comment here which I take. Bavuma never scored international 100 outside home, but he has played 63 tests for South Africa. Is rather surprising. All his 9 international hundreds have come at home. Yeah, but I think it's the leadership that has been pretty good of Temba Bavuma. Yes, you can obviously argue that it was Aiden Markram's leadership that guided them to win in those Bangladesh test matches that took place away from home. But then I think Bavuma has been equally good, and it remains to be seen, whether he can take his side to glory this time around or not. And if it happened, it's going to be a great chapter in the history of South African cricket. So until then, it's Siddharth saying goodbye, and we are going to be back very shortly with any of the latest updates on the sporting world and obviously anything and everything about the WTC final.